hammeringly bright place. How could he kick and spin like he used to in this heavy atmosphere where the air stung his skin? Yesterday, he had thought he was dying. Perhaps he was right, and this was what happened. Everything was open to question, except the fact that he was separated from his mother. Now that he realized there was a difference between them, he loved his mother with a new sharpness. He used to be close to her. Now he longed to be close to her. The first taste of longing was the saddest thing in the world. "Oh dear, what's wrong?" said the nurse. "Are we hungry, or do we just want to cuddle?" The nurse lifted him out of the fish tank cot, over the crevasse that separated it from the bed, and delivered him into his mother's bruised arms. "Try giving him a little time on the breast, and then try to get some rest. You've both been through a lot in the last couple of days." He was an inconsolable wreck. He couldn't live with so much doubt and so much intensity. He vomited colostrum over his mother, and then in the hazy moment of emptiness that followed, he caught sight of the curtains bulging with light. They held his attention. That's how it worked here. They fascinated you with things to make you forget about the separation. Still, he didn't want to exaggerate his decline. Things had been getting cramped in the old world. Towards the end, he was desperate to get out. But he had imagined himself expanding back into the boundless ocean of his youth, not exiled in this harsh land. Perhaps he could revisit the ocean in his dreams, if it weren't for the veil of violence that hung between him and the past. He was drifting into the syrupy borders of sleep, not knowing whether it would take him into the floating world or back to the butchery of the birth room. "Poor Baba. He was probably having a bad dream," said his mother, stroking him. His crying started to break up and fade. She kissed him on the forehead, and he realized that although they didn't share a body anymore, they still had the same thoughts and the same feelings. He shuddered with relief and stared at the curtains, watching the light flow. He must have been asleep for a while, because his father had arrived and was already locked onto something. He couldn't stop talking. "I looked at some more flats today, and I can tell you it's really depressing. London property is completely out of control. I'm leaning back towards Plan C." "What's Plan C? I've forgotten." "Stay where we are and squeeze another bedroom out of the kitchen. If we divide it in half, the broom cupboard becomes his toy cupboard and the bed goes where the fridge is." "Where do the brooms go?" "I don't know. Somewhere." "And the fridge?" "It could go in the cupboard next to the washing machine." "It won't fit." "How do you know?" "I just know. Anyway, we'll work it out. I'm just trying to be practical. Everything changes when you have a baby." His father leant closer, whispering, "There's always Scotland." He had come to be practical. He knew that his wife and son were drowning in a puddle of confusion and sensitivity, and he was going to save them. Robert could feel what he was feeling. "God, his hands are so tiny," said his father. "Just as well, really." He raised Robert's hand with his little finger and kissed it. "Can I hold him?" She lifted him towards his father. "Watch out for his neck. It's very floppy. You have to support it." They all felt nervous. "Like this?" His father's hand edged up his spine, took over from his mother, and slipped under Robert's head. Robert tried to keep calm. He didn't want his parents to get upset. "Sort of. I don't really know either." "Ah. How come we're allowed to do this without a license? You can't have a dog or a television without a license. Maybe we can learn from the maternity nurse. What's her name?" "Margaret." "By the way, where is Margaret going to sleep on the night before we go to my mother's?" "She says she's perfectly happy on the sofa." "I wonder if the sofa feels the same way." "Don't be mean. She's on a chemical diet." "How exciting. I hadn't seen her in that light." "She's had a lot of experience." "Haven't we all? With babies." "Oh, babies." His father scraped Robert's cheek with his stubble and made a kissing sound in his ear. "But we adore him," said his mother, her eyes swimming with